The shadow in room 3, in the heart of a bustling city, nestled between towering skyscrapers and lively streets, stood an unassuming old house. It was a relic of the past, its paint peeling and its windows like vacant eyes staring into the soul of the city. This house held secrets, shadows from the past that whispered tales of despair and madness. Amir and Rohan had been best friends since their school days. When they both got accepted into the same college in that small town, they were excited to start a new chapter of their lives together. But money was tight and finding a cheap place to stay was essential. So when they stumbled upon this old house, they thought they had struck gold. The rent was unbelievably low, and the house, though old, seemed spacious enough. The landlord, an old man with tired eyes, barely spoke a word as he handed them the keys. No parties, no late-night visitors, and don't open the door to room 3 unless necessary, he muttered before shuffling away, leaving Amir and Rohan to their eerie new home. For the first few days, the house felt like a blessing. It was spacious, cheap, and far from the hustle and bustle of the city. But as the nights grew longer and colder, so did the shadows in the house. Strange things started happening almost immediately. At night, whispers echoed in the halls. The walls creaked as if someone was walking through them, and the air always seemed unnaturally cold. Amir shrugged it off. "It's just an old house, man," he told Rohan one night as they sat huddled around a rickety table, trying to keep warm. But Rohan wasn't convinced. He often woke up in the middle of the night feeling like someone was standing right next to his bed, watching him. Then Amir changed. At first it was subtle. He would sit in the dark for hours, staring blankly at the walls. Then he started talking to himself, or so Rohan thought. One night he couldn't take it anymore. He entered Amir's room to find his friend sitting in the dark, whispering in a low, guttural voice. "The house is talking to me," Amir said, his eyes shining with an eerie light. "It showed me things, memories, emotions, truths you can't understand." Rohan knew something was seriously wrong. His usually cheerful and outgoing friend was now withdrawn and strange, almost as if he were possessed. Desperate for answers, Rohan started asking around town about the house's history. That's when he learned of the young man who had lived in room 3 years ago, a man who had locked himself in his room and ended his own life. Locals whispered that the young man's spirit never left, that something even darker had taken root in the house, feeding on the despair of those who lived there. Fear gnawed at Rohan, but he knew he had to do something. He went to see Father Joseph, the local priest, who confirmed the town's whispers. "Your friend is in great danger," the priest said, his voice grave. "An old, evil presence lingers in that house, preying on his soul. We must act quickly." That night, Rohan and Father Joseph returned to the house. Armed with holy water and an iron cross, they found Amir sitting in room 3, his eyes wide and staring, his fingers tracing patterns into the dust on the floor. "Amir, come with me," Rohan pleaded, holding out his hand to his friend. Amir's head snapped up, his lips curling into an unnatural grin. A voice that was not his own hissed, "He belongs to us now." With a sudden surge of strength, Amir recoiled, his eyes flashing with malevolent energy. The priest began chanting prayers, sprinkling holy water around the room. Amir screamed as if in pain, his body convulsing as an unseen force fought against the sacred water. The house trembled, the walls cracking as an angry growl echoed through the rooms. But as suddenly as it began, it stopped. Amir collapsed, his body shaking violently. The darkness that had gripped him seemed to fade, replaced by a look of peace. He was weak, but he was alive. When Amir woke up, he had no memory of the past few days. But he felt drained, as if he had been fighting a war in his own mind. The next morning, they packed their bags and left the house, never to return. The landlord never asked any questions when they returned the keys, but he nodded slowly and said, "You're lucky to be alive." As they drove away, Rohan glanced back at the house. For a moment, he could have sworn he saw a shadowy figure standing in the window of room 3, watching them go. But when he turned to tell Amir what he had seen, his friend was staring straight ahead, his face ashen and drawn. They never spoke of that house again.